We've talked at length about Yoshinobu and what he's been able to do and achieve this season, but what did you learn from him from the postseason last year, how then he entered into this regular season, and what prepares him for just this game and really big moments, hopefully, this postseason?
I think what I learned is, he prepares very well, very intentional with his preparation. I learned that the moment isn't too big for him, any moment. I learned that, he has the ability to make pitches when he needs to. He always seems like the best option. And yeah, I think that if you're talking about a player from last year to this year, I'd probably say he's number one on the growth chart. Considering, coming over here and trying to get his feet wet, trying to learn the culture, the game, the hitters, create a routine for himself to then, be a really big game pitcher.
I see you near the back, Bill.
Yeah, Dave, what did the eighth inning do as far as making you rethink your bullpen?
I just, looking back at it, I think that Alex is a guy I'm always going to trust. I think that he's earned that, and just wasn't particularly sharp last night. I just think that it was one of the few times that we've seen Edgardo lose command, and the game sped up, in my opinion. And I think Jack, coming into that spot right there, it was a tough spot, but I liked the way he kind of settled in and continued to make pitches against Stevenson to then ultimately punch him and gets the pop-up from Ke'Bryan. So, I thought it was a good lesson for them, more so for Enriquez and Jack. But, I still, evaluating and, we learn from things, so I'm kind of there. I'm not really, saying much, but you learn a lot from that inning.
Play our daily what-if game. What would it take to see Shohei come out of the bullpen tonight?
I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening.
Go to the second row.
Hey, Dave. The decision to go with Miggy Rowe at second over Tommy Edman, who homered last night, is it because of the ankle, or do you think Lodolo might come in later and there would be a lefty there so Miggy could face him?
It was more of the ankle. Just kind of Tommy's been, trying to battle to stay upright. And so, with Littell, I think he's a neutral guy. They certainly have Lodolo in the pen, and Martinez is going to be deployed, I'm sure, who's a reverse guy. So I don't think there's much cost. And also I feel that the defense is enhanced with Miggy.
Standing on the right corner, Dave.
Dave, Shohei has 3 homers all of last postseason and has 2 last night. Is it possible that in terms of meeting the moment, he learned something last year that kind of unlocked for him already in this postseason?
Yeah, I think so. I think that superstars always want to perform on the biggest stage. But you have to let the game come to you. And I think that last year, certainly early on, I felt that there was a little bit more chase in there, and appreciating the fact that teams aren't going to let them beat them. And when you can hone in your chase to get into account, which he did yesterday, to then get a pitch to hit, that's a result. I think he's had a great September as far as the chase, which has sort of prepared him for the postseason.
Go to Sonia in the third row on your right, Doc.
Dave, with the bullpen, are you still kind of figuring out who you can trust in leverage spots at this point, given that it's the postseason, a different situation than the regular season?
Yeah, I think that's, you like them all, you trust them all to various degrees. And I think in the postseason, you have to go with, ultimately who you feel best in that one spot. And so it's ever evolving, and I'm not going to be, can't be blind to performance and heartbeat and how guys respond to certain situations. So it's sort of a daily kind of conversation, with the pitching coaches, the front office, and just kind of, and most importantly, what I see.
How aggressive do you think you might be with managing the pen tonight if you see an opportunity to close this one out?
I'm going to be, I would say I'd more put this game on Yoshinobu, appreciating that he's, for me, our best pitcher available today. Then you got to layer in on, the stress of innings, the pitch count, and the swings they're taking, and how his stuff looks. To then, is there a better option? So, so I would say that I wouldn't probably be too aggressive, and I don't really know which direction I'm going to go as far as who I deploy.
The third row, Dave, Fabian.
Yeah, Dave, you had Emmett up for a lot of that eighth inning. Didn't use him. Is that sort of just trying to figure out, like, if he can get up in that sort of spot, do you sort of trust him coming into a dirty inning? How much are you still trying to kind of figure out what he can do as a reliever for you?
Yeah, I that was the situation where I think Jack had one more hitter, and Emmett was going to come into the game. So clearly I felt that if we needed him, he was going to pitch. So fortunately, he didn't have to come into the game, which I think is of benefit for tonight.
For a guy like him sort of tonight and going forward in this postseason, is he a guy you feel comfortable going back-to-back or using like a usual reliever?
I've had conversations with Emmett, and this is the postseason. So I say yes. Whatever is called for him, he's ready and willing to do whatever is called for him.
Good, Doug.
And Dave, for Tommy, would he be available tomorrow if it would come down to a game 3, and he would be available in any capacity for tonight's game?
He's available off the bench, certainly, tonight. And if there is a game 3, yeah, he'll play.
Barry?
Hey, I've got a more of an esoteric question for you. With we've lost recently, Boch, Mel, Snitker isn't coming back. Wash, Buddy Black was fired during the middle of the season. It's kind of left you as like the highest ranking manager in the National League at this point.
Me and Cashy.
And Castle. So what do you think about that? That as the whole time you've grown through, and what you've been through, and these guys are a lot of them you played for, and they were mentors of you.
They were all in different forms, mentors, and I've taken a piece of each one of those guys. I really have, and I'm very grateful for that. I think I've grown. I think I'm continuing to grow, want to grow, get better. They're great baseball men. They love the game of baseball, and they've impacted the game in a positive way. And I sort of feel that responsibility again to kind of keep what they started and guys before them started, to keep this thing going and make it about the players and the fans and do things the right way. But yeah, all great baseball men.
Do you look at this as kind of a normal evolution?
Yeah, I think so. It's just sort of all kind of coming at, a changing of the guard, whereas, guys have been around for a long time and you're getting some new blood, some new younger managers. Yeah, it's kind of the circle of life, I guess.
We'll take a last.
What about that one?
Take a last question in the second row.
So last one for me, Dave. If your bullpen guys, your regular guys, show you a little bit more what they showed yesterday, they don't have it that night, or they're not commanding the zone, would you consider, whether it's Sheehan or Robleski or Roki, going 6 outs, 9 outs, bulk to finish off a game for you?
Yeah. Yes, I would.
All right, Doc, thanks so much.
All right, thanks, guys.